Camden National Bank is celebrating 150 years of supporting the communities of Maine and New Hampshire. And it's all thanks to you. From one location in Camden to 72 banking centers today, our journey has only been possible because of your trust and loyalty. One thing that remains constant is our commitment to giving back, from supporting local businesses at Autumn Gold in Ellsworth, sponsoring the Seaside series in Stonington, to helping the elderly at Acadia Senior College. We're grateful to have this vibrant community be part of our story. And thank you to our partners, Downeast Famous, that's celebrating the people who make this region so special. Here's to the next 150 years together.
Welcome to the Downeast Famous podcast. I'm your host, April Shaw-Beaudoin, and I, of course, am joined by my lovely co-host, Jena Young, a hospitality entrepreneur here in Bar Harbor. And today we have the pleasure of chatting with Bo Jennings. Bo is the Director of Operations at Side Street Cafe, which Jena co-owns with her husband, Jeff. And he is also the President of the Chamber of Commerce here in Bar Harbor. Thanks so much for being on the show, Bo.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, there's going to be a few different things that we cover today in our 30-ish minute episode on Downeast Famous. And I think that Jena's probably going to ask you some more questions related to Side Street Cafe and businesses in the community. But I want to hear a little bit more about your position at the Chamber and what people can look forward to this fall and in early winter in Bar Harbor. Because a lot of people think of Bar Harbor as like a summer destination and then Labor Day comes and nobody's here.
I know. And actually, the best part is the fall and then going into that early winter time here in Bar Harbor. So I am proud to serve on the board of directors as the president. And we have a great board and awesome staff at the Chamber. And honestly, the best things in Bar Harbor are in the fall. So November 8th, I believe it is this year. It's usually Veterans Day weekend. But that is when the pajama sale and bed races are here in Bar Harbor. And if you've never done it, it is the most fun thing in Bar Harbor to see the streets lined with everyone from, toddlers to retirees in their pajamas, cheering on people racing beds up and down Cottage Street right out the door here. You'll never have more fun in Bar Harbor than during the bed races here. So it's kind of fun. It's after the peak tourist season, slows down a little bit, but there's still, most things are open. So you get up early. I think most of the shops open at 6 or 7 a.m. I believe that's correct. And then you shop and then you go to the bed races. Then you go back to shopping, maybe grab a margarita on your way. And then you just enjoy the day. And it is literally the most fun in Bar Harbor. So I believe it's November 8th this year, but it's that Saturday of Veterans Day weekend. And that is the time to come. I recommend the hotel. The prices kind of drop after, Halloween. And it's just the perfect time to come to Bar Harbor. Then you go into early December and Santa comes to town and everyone loves that. This year, I believe he's going to be on a horse-drawn buggy coming from the Y down to the Village Green. We light the tree here in town. And there's also a lot of sales going on all the retail spots here in Bar Harbor. So again, that late, fall, early winter time is great here, not just in Bar Harbor, but all over the island. You get Oktoberfest over with the Acadia Chamber in Southwest Harbor. And then I know that there's Acadia or Autumn Gold in Ellsworth with their chamber. So again, all the chambers here know that the fall and that early winter time is the best time to be here in Downeast.
I'd love to hear, what does Bar Harbor do for Halloween? I know there's a lot of places in Maine that do some fun things. Is Bar Harbor one of them?
Oh, I think it's one of the more special things. It's very Americana, which is Ledge Lawn, which is a main residential road here in town. They close it off. So there's no vehicular traffic and the residents open up. You're seeing thousands of kids walk up and down the streets trick-or-treating. In fact, Jena and her husband and her kids have had some of the best costumes in town.
Oh, really?
I believe Dorothy one year, and it's been very fun. And the whole town gets into it, not just the residents of Ledge Lawn. When you go to Hannaford's, people can buy candy and drop it off for the residents right there. And again, it's just the whole town comes together to really basically say, we are here for you. And it's a really neat experience.
That's so cool. And that's one of the things that I have loved learning about. I grew up in Southern Maine. I live in the Mid-Coast now. And the way that the community feels in the Mid-Coast and in Downeast, Maine on MDI is really different than anywhere else I've lived. I lived in Boston. I lived on the seacoast of New Hampshire. And this part of the world is really special.
Yeah, it's kind of we're forced to, especially here where you're on an island and we're confined here in Bar Harbor. You've got the park right here. It's like you go any further, you're not in Bar Harbor. But again, the people that that come out to things like the bed races and Halloween trick or treating and those type of things, they want to be a part of community because they know, when January and February comes, it gets pretty cold and pretty dark pretty quick. So again, we just enjoy that time, not just having fun, but being together.
I don't want to move on from fall without talking about your event that you've created, which is Music Harbor, and that also falls on the same weekend as the MDI Marathon.
Yeah, I try not to self-promote too
I
much.
know, I'm looking
Jenna's
at
my
it.
personal hype person. I love it. The marathon, I forget how long, but it's been several years now. They've created one of the more challenging marathons in the country, and that will be this year, the 19th of October. So shout out to the MDI marathon team. They're awesome. And so a couple of years ago, I noticed that there's so many people here, not just for the marathon, but the foliage and everything. People are looking for something to do. And I moved here from Nashville, Tennessee. So I decided, hey, we've got live music at the Annex. Why don't we just make a day of it? So 2 years ago at the Annex, we just did 10 hours of live music, and it was packed the whole time. You couldn't move in the Annex the whole day. People were just loving it. They're like, we want more. And of course, I hear you want more. I'm going to give you more. So last year, I got 5 other venues in town that had live music, and we created Music Harbor, which is just 2 days of live music. Last year, we had the 6 venues. We had over 60 hours of live music over 2 days. I am proud to say this year, October 18th and 19th, we will have 13 venues and over 100 hours of live music over 2 days. I will say a special shout out to our partners at Baxter Brewing. They created the Music Harbor Lager, which is a delicious beer. It comes in a really cool custom can that has a picture of the island and everything. It's like a collectible in itself. And then our friends over at Little Village Gifts wanted to be a part of it. So they created merchandise that they'll be selling. And I will tell you, the merchandise this year is incredible. So Music Harbor is going to be a lot of fun, and really encourage people to come because, again, the foliage, the marathon, everything happening, that is kind of the big sort of end to the tourist season is that weekend. And we pack it with a lot of fun for everybody. So
Amazing. And it sounds like you're a really gifted collaborator from what you're describing. Is that true, Jena? Maybe Jena
Yes,
should
I'll
answer.
for you. Yes, absolutely. Making connections with people that are very genuine, and then finding gaps in what the town needs or what our businesses need, and then being able to pull different resources together in a way that works for everyone. Yep.
That's very kind. Yeah, I think the big thing is sometimes I have maybe a crazy idea or big idea, but if you think you can ever accomplish it alone and execute alone, you can't, So even if you have the idea, you need to collaborate with others in order to pull it off. So luckily we have an amazing team at Annex and Side Street, and the other partners in town have all been so excited because, again, everybody wants to do something. Sometimes they just don't know what. So you give them an opportunity to get involved and they're going to do it.
So we've talked a lot about the fall. We understand now why people would want to visit at this glorious season that is coming upon us. Tell us what people could expect possibly in the winter if they were to visit.
Yeah, well, you can expect lower hotel rates, that's for sure. I know the folks that are still open love their winter visitors. I've seen rates as low as $79 a night for rooms that are getting $400 to $500 right now. So I do want to give a shout out to those hotels that stay open during the wintertime, and they provide that service for folks that still want to come to Bar Harbor, but maybe either don't have the time or the financial ability to come during the peak season. So winter is great because you can kind of do whatever you want. You're not fighting crowds. You're not fighting a lot of those things. And so I will say that the restaurants that are open during the wintertime do a great job of providing activities. There's trivia almost every night of the week here in Bar Harbor. I know at Annex this year, we're going to be open 5 days a week during the wintertime. We've got live music and trivia and all that fun stuff playing. I know you and I are working right now on some of that. So I do say, again, if you come to Bar Harbor in the wintertime, you're going to get very affordable rates. If you're not afraid of a little bit of cold and have some good snowshoes, you can have a lot of fun here in Bar Harbor.
Yeah, definitely an underrated time of year. One thing I've noticed is year after year, there are more businesses staying open in the winter. So there are more options. And we know people aren't necessarily staying open because there's a lot of business. They're staying open in order to retain staff and create year-round jobs.
Right.
You play a huge role in several of our businesses as far as hiring and housing. What are some of the challenges involved in operating seasonal businesses here in Bar Harbor?
Sure. It's we kind of approach it from a little bit, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Do we be open more and then more people will come, or do more people come and then we open more? And so we're kind of going first and we're saying, hey, we're going to be open, and other folks in town are doing that. The challenges are, is there enough hours for them if they're an hourly employee? The housing, is it winterized? Can, can it stay warm enough in their house? Because it's just open usually in the summertime. And there's those little things that you wouldn't think about anywhere else but in Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor's like, oh, you got to face a couple of challenges there. But again, to us, it's like the opportunities for growth, and not just like as far as number of sales, but growing our team and growing them to be better, and all, and giving not just visitors coming to Bar Harbor, but the locals more things to do. It's like, all right, we're open, we're here, we're ready for you, and now we just need you to take that first step outside the door. We got you from there.
Yeah. Well, obviously, that I'm big on leadership, and we talk a lot about how we're leading and how we're building other leaders within our company. And I would love for you to share more about how your leadership has changed over the past 5 years in this role that you're growing in. Your job has grown, your role has grown, and how have you changed in that process?
Well, we talked about not too long ago. The one thing I've gotten better at is firing people. Not that I enjoy it, but I think doing it clearly and kindly. She brought this up one of the first times we were together. She's like, clear as kind. And I'm like, well, obviously it is.
Mhm.
But I'd never really honed in on that before. It's just like, sometimes you talk it to death, trying to be nice to somebody, make them feel better. And no, just be clear. And that is being kind. So I've got a lot better with that. So thank you for
Yeah.
your help and growth. But overall, as a leader, just since being here and being with you and being in a kind of a mainly seasonal town, which was a big change for me. I'd never been in that seasonal environment before. But I've learned just how to be more proactive. I'm a pretty proactive person in general, but I have to be even more so now. I'm already working on next spring and next summer, because you have to, because otherwise, if you take a breath, if you're not preparing for the next thing, you're going to fall so far behind. There's obstacles that we face that a lot of folks, again, in your kind of traditional year-round environments don't have, like, visa worker programs and regulations that we can't control and change month by month. I just got an email yesterday with, here's all the new changes. I'm like, great. But you have to always be preparing for that next thing. And again, in that kind of traditional year-round world, you're like, okay, well, next fall I'll start working on that, and this, and I'm like, no, I'm already in next summer, even though I'm still in summer now, and it's so yeah, just being very proactive, and then with our team, we have challenges because you have so many different businesses and so many different types of employees, and really the big thing is just communication. We talk about it all the time. Communication will solve or cause 90% of the problems. And it's so true. I believe I've gotten better at it. I'm not great, but I'm getting better at it every day. So
Yeah, no, I think you're a great communicator. Where do you want to see Side Street Hospitality in the next 5 years?
oh, wow. I was not expecting that question. So thank you for not letting me prepare. No, I seriously, so in 5 years, I'd love for Side Street Hospitality to not just be living out, but growing in our core values: act with integrity, communicate with clarity, keep growing. If we're doing that and our team has gotten stronger, not just like, muscle, but like, together and tighter, to where we don't have a lot of turnover, we're very lucky to be a place that doesn't have a turnover every year. And if we can keep improving on that and growing our team, and if our core values become so ingrained in people to where they walk up to the building and go, oh, I don't communicate with clarity, I'm going to go apply somewhere else, that's a dream come true for us.
I can get on board with that. We've talked on this podcast about how Maine is made up almost entirely of small businesses, and your career has spanned all types of, large corporations, small businesses. How has operating a small business in a small town been different and maybe even better than corporate?
How
Well,
is Bar Harbor the best?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's my chamber folks would appreciate me saying that. No, I think the biggest thing is you get the opportunity to have fun and do things that are, try almost anything. The downside is, or the challenging part of it is just that you don't have the same amount of vendors. When we have a plumbing issue, it's like you get the one plumber you got to call. And if you get, a roof's leaking, you're like, okay, well, I hope that roofer is available today. And usually they're not. So again, that's a challenge, same with like your food and beverage vendors and all of that. You just don't have the same amount of options. And not saying that that's better or worse, but sometimes you're like, okay, I'm really frustrated with that person, but I really need them. So I can't really come down on them the way I need or want to. So I just got to breathe deep and get through it. So it is a really special place to live and work. So I don't know that I would trade any of the pros and cons. I love it here.
And speaking of how much you love it here, how did you get to Bar Harbor? You grew up in Nashville?
So I was born and raised in Texas.
Okay.
Corpus Christi on the beach. No, I was in Nashville for about 11 years. My family is still all there. We all kind of migrated there over the years. And but COVID happened. And like a lot of folks, I was without a position. And one of my best friends in Nashville, he and his wife, Taylor and Rachel, I give them a special shout out. Taylor's from the island. In fact, Taylor is Jena's nephew. And so Taylor and I were good friends, and he and Rachel decided they just had their second child and they wanted to move back to the island. And Taylor was like, dude, you gotta come. And I was like, sure, I'll visit sometime, but I was like, that's so far up there. But I'll make it some point. And then, a couple months later, he just kept saying, dude, you gotta come. It's great. I'm like, all right, calm down, Taylor. It's just a little island in Maine, but he just kept talking about it. So one day I was like, oh, I'll just see if there's any jobs up there just by chance. And I found one. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And I applied for it. And then the next day they called me 9 a.m. And then over 2 days, I had 5 phone calls with this organization, including with their CEO. And I was like, Taylor, I might be moving to Bar Harbor. He's like, what? No way. So we're like making all these plans. Like, all right, we're going to build a family compound. We're all going to, start making these plans. And then the next day I get a text and he said, hi, my name is Jeff Young. I'm Taylor's uncle. I want you to come work for me.
That's very Jeff.
And yeah, if you know Jeff Young, that's very Jeff.
He's action oriented.
And I didn't know what he did. I didn't know, like I had no idea. I'm like, my first question to him, I'm pretty sure was, well, what do you do? And he's like, oh, well, me and my wife, we have a restaurant. And then of course with Jeff, it went on, oh, I own a construction company. I have this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm not interested in that part. But, so we talked the next day some more. Of course, we texted about 1 million times. And then the day after that, Jeff and Jena and myself all had a video call. And I remember the first time I went in their house, I'm like, oh, that's where you were when you video called me. Like, it was a big deal. But we video chatted and I was like, oh, okay, well, this could work. We clicked, kind of virtually, but they're like, you got to come see it in person Labor Day weekend. You got to come see it. It'll be very busy and you got to come see it in action. So a couple weeks later, I was on a plane, came up here and pulled into town. I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people here and it's cool. It's beautiful, obviously. And we met for about 4 hours that first day. And
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay. And the thing is, Bar Harbor is beautiful, but what really clicked was Jeff and Jena.
Mm.
It was pretty instantaneous that I knew these people were special. And I had, some not great experiences with some previous small business owners. And to be honest with you, I lumped them all together. It's like, I don't trust small business owners. I don't, just give me corporate, give me a CEO and I'll be fine. But I was like, again, we just kept talking. And the thing about it is, you correct me if I'm wrong, but when we talked, there was nothing about it that felt forced. It was very natural. It was just like, and the whole time Jeff, I think, wanted to offer me the first moment I met him. Jeff's like, don't even come, just take the offer and move 1,400 miles. But no, we just kept meeting and talking and they listened so good. And I remember I got home and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like if they'll offer me, we'll see how it goes. And the offer they sent acknowledged everything I had said in that meeting. And I was like, they get it. Jeff and Jena get it. And I was like, these are people that I want to do business with. And I don't know how many seconds I waited before I said yes, but
You were excited
it
to
wasn't
get your
many
response.
seconds. But I was like, I'm in. And I remember, when I moved up here, it was a really hard move. And the reason being is not because, oh, yes, I miss my family. We're very tight. We're a great family, but everything went wrong on the move.
Oh.
I go to pick up the moving truck because all the movers were booked at that point. Everyone was leaving, California and New York. And so I was like, all right, I'll do the moving truck thing. And went to go pick it up and it wasn't available. They had to give me another one. And then that one didn't work. So I had to get another one. They didn't have any of the stuff I had, the cart or any of the stuff, the pads, nothing was available. So I'm driving all over Middle Tennessee trying to piece it together. I get to my house. I have moving people that have been on the clock for 4 hours, waiting for me. And they load it up. It's raining. I pull out of town. It rained the entire trip here. I mean, all through, I went the western part of Pennsylvania because I wanted to go through Scranton. I'm a big office guy. So I was like, oh, I'll go to Scranton, and did that. And then we came into town. It rained the whole time. And of course, when I pull into Bar Harbor, it's pouring down rain. Like the hardest it had rained the whole time. We're loading in all the boxes, everything, furniture soaking wet.
Oh.
And I was like, did I make a bad decision?
Yeah.
Nothing, I was waiting for the rainbow the whole time, and the rainbow never came.
By then you're exhausted.
And then after, I remember my sister and my dad helped me move up here, and they flew back. Literally the next day after that, that's when the rainbow came. The sun came out. I was like, all right, now we can breathe. Now we started working together, and I was like, all right, great. Yeah. And honestly, it was so smooth after that, yeah, there's little bumps in the road here and there, but I knew right away that I wanted to be with these people, and I knew that this was my home. Bar Harbor is my home. In fact, I've been very careful. I remember Jenna and Jeff were like, are you going home to visit family? I'm like, no, I am home. I'm going to visit them at their home. And because I think if you don't approach it from that mentality, if you think of your home as somewhere else, how else are you ever going to have credibility to be a part of a community? This is my home and I am here.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
It's so funny how there can be resistance when you are on the right path and that rain and that weather and you're soaking furniture and nothing being available. Like that is, I could see why you'd be like, all right.
Yeah, you're
And
like, somebody trying to tell me something here. But no, it's every moment since then has been affirmation that this is the right place for me. And you know what? I think it's important to not just me, but to anybody else that ever moves here. If you make that big life decision to call Bar Harbor your home, you deserve to be here. The whole Downeast. This place is a beautiful place. It is a special place to not just get to visit, but to live and work at. So if you make that, you deserve to be here. You've been through enough. The challenges, I know the challenges to move to a place like this. And once you get here, I am proud to call any of those folks my neighbors.
Well, I can say without a doubt that we are so glad to call you a neighbor, and you feel like family to us. Your role in our businesses and in our lives has dramatically changed everything that we do and how we do it. And so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that we get to work together, that you came on the podcast, that you can speak on behalf of the chamber and our businesses. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're not off the hook yet.
Oh, okay.
We will be doing a lightning round.
I love a good lightning round.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You're very ready for this. Okay, lightning round. Tell us an area of Maine that you would like to visit but haven't had the chance to.
Sebago.
Oh, good one. Love Sebago.
I know. Everyone goes to the lake but me, apparently.
Yes.
So.
Okay. A Bar Harbor business that deserves a shout out.
I have to give a special shout out to Table Salt, a new restaurant here in town. They're friends of mine that also moved here from Nashville, and she's from the Camden area, and they're amazing. The food is so good. I recommend the seafood stuffing and the shrimp that they have. It's out of this world.
So good.
Yes.
And I believe they're going to be in your book.
They are going to be in
Okay.
our book.
Oh, you're going to
I
love it.
just heard that.
Yeah.
Favorite spot to visit on MDI?
Egg Rock Overlook on the Park Loop Road. It's my favorite place to watch sunrise.
Favorite side street cafe menu item?
Bangin' shrimp.
And the dream musical guest to book at the Annex?
Oh, I have so many. solo or band?
You get to pick.
Oh,
There's no
so hard.
budget.
I have so many.
This is an unlimited budget.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're going to give me your checkbook, I am going to go get Lake Street Dive because they're so good, Jena. You would love them. I'm going to send you all the playlists.
Okay.
But yeah, they've got an incredible lead singer, the band with the horns, a keys player who just did You're Still the One by Shania Twain, but like a funky version of it. I'm telling you, Lake Street Dive, let's get them in Bar Harbor. Now I'm going to make it happen as long as you're going to pay for it.
If anyone can do it, it is absolutely you.
I know Annex might be a little full that night, but the fire marshal will let it happen.
All right.
Yep.
And that actually just reminded me that for my 40th birthday, Bo and Jeff threw a surprise party for me. Well, Jeff threw the party, but Bo was really doing it, the engine behind it. And he got dueling pianos here from Boston.
Whoa.
To perform on the porch of our inn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much the neighbors liked it, but I liked it.
Yeah.
So if anyone can get Lake Street Drive here, it's you.
Yeah, as long as you don't care what it costs, I'll make it happen. So.
Thank you so much for being on the show today, Bo. And for people who want to learn more about you, they can come connect with you in person at Side Street Cafe, but they can also find you online.
Everywhere. And thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun being here. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Bo Jennings. But also just, make sure you follow Visit Bar Harbor. That's the Chamber's visitor website and Instagram and Facebook accounts, as well as, again, the awesome teams at Side Street Cafe, the Annex, Side Treats, Link's Pub, Thrive, Yellow House Inn, Acadia Gem. There's an incredible team that support Jeff and Jena and all their ventures, and I'm proud to be one of those folks.
Amazing.